Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a new week, which means it's a new weekly. In my May Plan With Me video, hopefully you saw that I created a funfair themed daily doodle challenge for May. And this was completely inspired by the film Big with Tom Hanks. And ever since picking it, I've kind of wanted to put a Zoltar machine somewhere, and I've got no room on my doodle page, so it's been promoted to a full weekly. So I'm just trying to copy from a Google image of the Zoltar machine and just try and map it out. There's a real fine line, I think, for me between wanting to copy it and have it exactly the same, but then recognising that when you're transferring it into your journal, when you're drawing it, it's not that easy to add absolutely every detail and fit it all in. So it's that balance between finding my own lines and copying the lines that I can see. I'm going to outline with my Pilot drawing pen, which is a 01, so it's the thinnest black pen that I own. There's so much doodle and detail that I wanted to put in that I went with a thinner pen, and even when I was going over it with a black outline, there was still pencil marks that I felt like I couldn't put in because it would crowd the space too much. So I've actually simplified a lot of the drawing from what I was doing with pencil. This is the second or third time I've used this layout. I've moved all my weekly boxes up to the top of the page and moved all of my productivity and sort of next week boxes, things that I fill in and stuff. I've moved that all over onto the right hand space so that that left hand side can be one big doodle. I'm not having to fit it around anything. I did it for Tombow because Tombow was sort of the image that I had was a big square image, so I did it for that. Really liked how it looked. I like every now and then just having something really big and colourful on a weekly. So this is one of those weeks, and then everything fits over on the right hand side. Can you see how much I'm overshooting lines there? I've done it like 2 or 3 times on this layout where I've just carried on mindlessly when I'm drawing the outline. That happens when you're not concentrating, but I've got a tracker, I've got somewhere for notes, I'll have a tiny quote and my next week boxes, and now just to finish that all up, I get to go in and finally, my favourite part, I get to go and add the colour. I'm using Faber Castell drawing pens, but one of the reasons I prefer cheap markers compared to sort of more expensive ones is that I can have more for less, I suppose. I can have 36 different shades with Faber Castell, and for this doodle it means that I can use 3 different types of purples for shading. I can use lots of different colour variations, which I think just helps the image to just look a little bit more interesting than perhaps if you're only using 1 or 2 colours. So I use quite a few, so having a nice big pack of pens that I can choose from really helps. You'll be happy to know that if you've watched my videos, you know I've got a purple pen that's a pretty beastie type of pen. I've now stuck a sticker on it so that I know that that pen is not the pen for this journal. So hopefully I won't have any more bleed throughs to cover. So these are all the other lovely purple pens that Faber Castell do in their kids branded pack. In terms of setting up my weekly for next week, I've added one more item on my tracker list, which is to fill in my hormone tracker. So it's just something I can tick off each day to say that I've been over to my hormone tracker, I've filled in what I want to fill in, just to keep me doing it so I don't forget. Sometimes I live in a weekly and I forget that I have other pages in my journal to fill in. So I find that weekly tracker is helpful to go to another page and fill something out, and then I can cross it off on my weekly. And as we know, if you're tracking in a weekly, that big box looks really good when you've got lots and lots of ticks or crosses in it. So I've added one more thing in. I've got my weekly space, my next weekly space, and a little space for notes as I go through the week. And that's my weekly, guys. That's pretty much how I set myself up each week and every week. And I'll finish off my weekly with my Crayola Supertips, just going in and filling in some white space and using the thicker pens to do a really big bit of background colouring. I hope you liked this video, guys. Please give it a big thumbs up. Thank you all for watching my last Plan With Me video. You guys are awesome, and I will see you next week.